Hey guys, Anthony 4x4 Diesel. Have a listen to this. Not the birds. Hear those dripping noises? Is that the engine oil dripping back down? Or is that the aircon condensation dripping out underneath the vehicle? I can tell you both are dripping. So if you've got high humidity, it's going to be normal for that water under the vehicle. So that's the first little thing we'll mention, but you probably knew that already if you've watched any of my videos. The important one here is how to check the engine oil correctly. And my point is, I switched the engine off about 2 minutes ago. Oil's still dripping down and it will continue to do so. The specification is 5 minutes. See that yellow thing over the right-hand side of the picture there? Let's get that out after 5 minutes and have a quick look at the dipstick, and that'll confirm if the engine level is correct. And I'll just add a little bit more info about what a little bit over full and a little bit under full and this sort of thing, so you know how imperative it is or how much it doesn't really matter. So stay tuned, give me a couple of minutes. The time has come to pull out the dipstick. So we're gonna pull it out. I don't know if that was a bit of oil or a bit of water sitting at the top there from washing the engine down. Tell you honestly, yesterday was when the oil change happened. Last night we just gone for a quick drive. Just want to show you the dipstick. You can see the 2 dots. Under the dot, no good. Over the dot, no good. Now, this is why you need to know the specification for checking the oil. Right, so I'm going to dip it in and out and bring it back and show you. And sometimes it can be hard to read, which is why we're going to go to that detail. Hopefully it won't drip while I'm holding it flat. And what we got at the moment is slightly over full, which is not ideal, right? So it's about 6 millimeters, because you probably can't tell the distance to it, and you can hardly see it, right? Because this is how we roll and this is how we like engine oil, right? I mean, you don't have to have your oil that clean, but that's how we like it. I'll put the dipstick back in and we'll just have a quick chit chat about engine oil levels. If you've got too much oil, it can create crankcase pressure and it can push seals, create oil leaks and stuff like that. Now, up to about 10 millimeters over the full line isn't really a big deal, to be quite honest, depending what engine. I'm talking these 1KDs just for the moment. Some people, you know, I've seen people, right, I put this, I put that, and they tell me, I put, oh, mine takes 7.3, whatever. Well, that's not what it takes, but that's what you put in. But percentage-wise, look at it, you're talking about 5% or less. So it's not a massive amount of difference in the level that's going to cause any problems. But so the right way to do it is like that after 5 minutes. Depending how hot your oil is, how fast it's going to drain back down. And if it's cold, so this is the variables. If it's cold, it's going to take longer to get down there. It's going to look lower. So if you just change your oil, just put in the 6.9 or the 7 litres, drive the vehicle a little bit, get it warm, switch it off, come back in 5 minutes, you'll get a better oil. And then of course you fill the oil filter. It's going to be really accurate that way, rather than, you know, switch it, start it, fill it, switch it off, and everything's all cold and there's 200 or 300 mil, maybe staying up higher places for a lot longer. If you leave it overnight, it's going to look over full. If you pull it out cold in the morning, you're going to be 10, 15 mil over, depending where your original setup mark was. When they say 6.9, if you did that, you'd probably find that your engine oil is going to be somewhere between the bottom dot and the top dot, which is what they want. That's fine. But I think you, like me, we just want it closer to the top dot. We kind of want that little bit in reserve, and that's why for myself, a little bit over, because we do a fair bit of highway driving, you know, 100, 110 and whatever. And of course, the higher revs and the highway driving in the heat of summer, that's where the oil's really thin and you can burn a little bit. These engines generally don't burn or use oil. So there's some other bonus info. It's not just about how to check your oil level, but we'll pretty well wrap it up. A little bit extra. And look, if you are running high revs, different engines, you certainly will need different oils. We use the Penrite 1040. It doesn't matter, it doesn't bother me what brand of oil you use, okay? This is what I'll say in this video though. If there's anything you are purchasing because I use it or I said I think this is good or whatever, make a point of it with your purchase. Put it in the notes and say, Anthony 4x4 Diesel, Anthony 4x4 Adventures, that's why I'm doing it, you know? Because what will happen then, that gives us a bit of, they know, okay, so I've got the influence, and then I can pull some deals for us perhaps, like, hey, look, you know, we've got hundreds or thousands of people that are buying this because Anthony said so. Then Anthony says, can we please have a 20% discount for whatever day? Then I'll tell you guys about it. We can all save some money, whatever, if you get what I mean. So if you don't mind, just mention to all the suppliers, you know, if you're buying stuff from K-On, just put it in the notes. You know, Anthony said so. stuff like that. That's just an example. You know, we love K-On stuff, Australian made, Australian company. How much information can you fit into a how to check your oil level video? Unbelievable. On that note, I'll say if you liked it, hit the like button. I hope you understand. There was some questions there about what oils. That's why I thought I'd throw that in. You can use Magnatec if you like. It doesn't bother me what brand of oil you use. Mainly as long as the level's right and that you change it is the main thing. I'm just saying we use the Penrite HPR Diesel 10, 1040 in most of all the 1KDs. If you're up further north, you might want to use the 1550 because again, especially higher Ks, older engines, a little bit of wear, hot conditions, hot driving, hours and hours at 130 or whatever, you're going to burn some oil. You're going to get to your next oil change and you might be a little bit, you know, a little bit low. Again, not a big deal, but wouldn't you rather be close as possible to the right mark? So all depends what your driving style is. If you started up in Kununurra and you drive out to, I don't know, Wyndham or whatever, and you work out there every day, go look on the map, people, for those that don't know. Anyway, so you work out there every day, so you're on the highway every day and maybe it's 130, whatever. You could, you know, in 10,000 Ks, or, you know, you could use some oil, especially with a 300,000 or 400,000 kilometre engine. Something to think about. If you're doing colder, short starts, then you want to use the lighter oils. You know, if you're living in Tassie in winter, you might even want to go down to the 5 whatever, you know what I mean? So 530 or, you know, I'm not saying in these engines 0, but if you look in the book, it'll tell you this is what we prefer, but then it goes on to tell you why for, you know, best fuel economy or whatever. So you can look at the climate, right, in the book you'll see, and it'll give you all the different grades you can use, and they are not fussy. I'll just tell you, obviously the thinner the oil, you're going to get better economy, better protection at your cold starts where most of your engine wear happens, and the thicker oils are going to stay there and work better at those high engine revs, which typically a 1KD is going to be at 2,500, 3,000 revs on the highway anyway. So you shouldn't be sitting on 4,000 or 5,000 or 6,000 revs. If you do, you'll certainly have problems. Hope you had a laugh at that. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video. That's about it. Checking it. Make sure it's on level ground as well, right? You know, not a big deal. It can be slightly off, but a slight unlevel ground is going to obviously give you a different reading. Flat level ground is best. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya. Bye.